these videos. I accidentally ended this. I didn't even press the end button, but I did after it showed me a second time. Because guess what? This video deserves its own time and attention. So let me just put that there. I will be right back. You can watch Umi and Mashuki for a minute. Yeah, Umi? What you saying? Hi, Umi and Mashuki. Hi, hi. How's the babies? Hmm? How's the sweethearts? What you saying? So hi guys. Yeah, so this video deserves attention in itself because it's the Finches, as I said in the last video, I have the petunias over here and they can eat petunias if they want to. They haven't wanted to yet. So that's there for their visual. It's a pink petunia plant. And this plant in the back is a beautiful plant for them to also look at. So over here, just to repeat, we did just say in the last video, but this is a rosemary here. This is parsley right here. And this is a peppermint mint right here. So this one, they're not really, they have a lot of parsley in there. So they're not really going after this one. And this one seems like it's kind of drying out a little. But anyway, thank you for being with me, guys. So the last video, we were just going over the update on dog laws. So this one, we're gonna talk a little bit about the pet finches and just how intelligent these guys are. Okay, because they are really smart. So I'm gonna leave the video on them. Well, maybe I can have it. Yeah. I just kind of want you to be able to see them a little bit there, so you can see Umi over here. And let's see. Hi, honeys. Hi, sweethearts. When I turn my back, they're more apt to come closer. And so you'll see them flying around there. Okay. So psychologists and scientists, guys, study pet finches. It says they study the zebra, but they also study the Bengalese. So we're going to go over both. To understand communication, learning, and personality, wait till you hear how smart these guys are. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to go in that other video and take out the title, the Finches, but a couple of things. How finches learn. They learn just like human beings do. Listen, babbling. Baby male finches practice a song called sub-song. You may hear Mashuki do it in a few minutes. It sounds like a human baby babbling. Okay, and I heard that when I first got them a little bit. So this is just an overview, no big detail, but social feedback. Psychologists at Cornell University found that baby finches do not just copy adult finches. They learn by watching the adult females react to their practice. This is exactly how human babies learn to talk, by interacting with parents. Guys, can I just tell you, my birds, Umi and Mashuki, they observe me. Now, they don't just sit on their perch and kind of look. They actually go like this, like their necks go out and they're looking, studying me when I'm sitting working, sewing, and I feel like they're, because like I know that they've wanted for sure me to put in the materials I'm working with, and I can't because a lot of those materials, those fabrics I work with as an artist are blends, and they can't have those in their cages. But that's the feel I get because like they would do a call to me when, and now they just really watch what I'm doing. Check this out. Brain power. Finches can recognize, guys, up to 42 different individual voices just by sound. They even understand the meanings behind different chirp types. Guys, when their birdie friends are outside on the ledge calling for food, they call, call, call. They alert me that they're out there so I can feed them their food. Guys, it is not easy to understand, to recognize 42 different languages. I mean, think about it, for 42 different voices. Think about it for a second. A lot of times, different family members especially will have the same type of voice, like they'll have the same. These guys would be able to distinguish it without seeing the person, without seeing. They can distinguish the dogs outside when they bark. They know the dog barks. This is why I was saying they are the best type of pet to have if you want to be alerted to something different in your neighborhood or close to your house. They will alert you as to what a different sound is. And when it becomes a normal sound, then they're okay. But they will alert you if that sound, they're taking a bath right now, so I'm covering my coffee because I'm getting a bath too. You can't tell, but I am getting a bath right now. Hi, Fayer and AL Work. Hi. How are you guys today? Take a sip of my coffee. These are Bengalese finches. So let's put in specifically Bengalese. Guys, but I just to just kind of take this home to you. 42 different voices is not anything to mess with. These guys are intelligent, trust me. Can you recognize 42 different voices just by their voices? You might not be able to after you get after number 20. You might be able to recognize 20 of your friends, like top friends, or 5 or 6 of your top friends. But just check it out. Think about it for a second. Just recognizing it. Like it's like recognizing maybe 42 different songs, but, well, that would be distinguished. Yeah, that might be a way to do it. So anyway, let's put this in Bengalese studies because these guys are so intelligent. Okay, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the birds again. Bengalese, that's what these are. So what are Bengalese finches? Bengalese finches, they're very active, first of all, guys. So if you have somebody who is homebound, I was talking to a lady about this. I don't know. She did tell me her name, and it's the first time I had met her, so I'm forgetting right now. But if you have someone homebound and they don't have a lot to do, watching these guys all day long is amazing. It will keep their mind going, absolutely. But they need to be stimulated too. They need music, and they know the difference between the instrumental, kind of like classical music that I put on and the birds chirping. They know immediately as to when I put Adele or Sia. They love those songs. Fire to the rain. They sing right along and they dance. And Sia, Unstoppable, or whatever the songs are, they dance. They love, love, love these songs. They get the songs with rhythm. They love. It amazes me because a bird even knows what a good song is. And I get such a kick out of it, and I'm so surprised. And they love the worship songs too. So Bengalese finches are widely studied. That's what these guys are. And they're studied to understand vocal learning and how domestic environments change behavior. So researchers look at how these birds learn complex songs, share them across the generations, and how stress decreases in domesticated birds compared to wild ones. Well, of course, if you're a wild bird out there, let me tell you, I have the tiny little sparrows who come to the window. And yes, honey, you know the little birds that come to the window. Yeah. Here's their song. Listen. Can you hear it, guys? I don't know if you can hear them. Pull it up closer. That's Umi singing and dancing to Mashuki. So the female does do a little dancing and singing. Okay? Now, so the wild birds, guys, are always running from the larger birds. And this morning I went out and the crows. Now, we're going to talk about crows in a minute too, because they are super intelligent. And there's a few of them who are befriending me, which I seriously don't understand. People can attest to this. People can attest to the fact that I can stand out on the porch and birds will come just about to my shoulder. They come to me. And I think that they do because they read your hormone and your energy levels. They know that you're not a threat. They know. Dogs know, cats know. I should say most dogs know and most cats know. Sometimes there is a dog or a cat that has its own issues. You have to always remember that, guys. No matter how kind you are, there may be an animal that is not well, or they do not read their environment the way that you think that they would. So you need to be very careful. But these birds come right to me out there. It's just amazing. So now the crows are coming to me. So we're going to talk about them in a minute. So what I have in here is the male, Mashuki. He is a white-rumped, oh, what's the name? Is it in here? Yes. He is a white-rumped munia. That's what he is. Umi is a silver-billed finch. They don't have that in here, but so their coloring is a little different, and they're like beige, like Mashuki is becoming more chocolate and white, whereas before he was more chocolate, and now he's becoming chocolate and white. And I think we're beginning to see a little more of the white because I've been giving them their molting vitamin. They need it. Guys, you got to put that in there every day. It's a daily dose. You've got to. Because if you don't, they get uncomfortable. Because with the pet finches, they don't molt just once a year. They molt intermittently, ongoingly, these guys. Okay? So they need their molting vitamin every day. They need it. Okay. Now, so this says AI, we're going to go a little more into depth here, but basically, yeah, unlike their wild ancestors, the white-rumped munia, which sings simple, rigid songs, domesticated Bengalese finches sing highly complex, structured songs. His ancestors are white-rumped munia, for sure. That is exactly what he looks like. Okay. Model for human speech. Their song learning process mirrors how young human children acquire language. Studies show distinct brain regions help them recognize sounds and adapt their harmonies to situations. If you like to sing like I do, I love music, guys. I love, love, love music. They will sing with you, like with you. Let's see. Hi, honeys. You love your music, don't you, sweethearts? What song could we sing? Fire to the rain. Yeah. I can't sing, guys. That's why I got them. They can sing. But if you love to sing and you love music, these birds are for you. Now, domestication effects. Researchers also study them for self-domestication. Without the stress of predators, they show lower stress levels, less aggression, and greater brain flexibility. And they keep talking about domestication. These birds have been domesticated for hundreds of years. I think even a couple thousand years, these guys. Key behavioral studies. Again, this is AI overview. Their song preference. Studies like those published in the Courthouse News show that the females retain a lifelong preference for their father's song, while males lose this interest as they age. So I don't know the parents. The parents of these finches were not in the store when I got them. They were babies and they were paired together from different flocks. Now, I don't have any other pet finches, guys. I would love to get another pair because I would love them to just have a friendship with another set of finches next to them in another cage. But right now, I just have the two of them. And the other reason I hold back on getting the others is I feel like I want to make sure that they are, what shall I say, just having this winter in Vermont, I want to make sure I get the little batteries to put on the cages. This winter, as you know, I used the gloves that heat up and put them in gloves. The heating, what are they called? The little heating pads. You put them in a glove and they heat up your hand. Hand heaters or something, right? They worked perfectly for them. I put them in a glove and clipped it to the cage. But I'd like to get them a battery operated one that can go 24/7. Those gloves, guys, go like 8 hours though. But you have to keep buying them and putting them in and this and that. So that is the reason right now. I just want to get some more equipment and make sure that I am adequately supplied for the winter, because this past winter was crazy. As you know, I think I had 4 layers of blankets on this cage. And you think that was overkill? It was not. That was for them to keep heat in and to make sure that they were adequately, not getting drafts. It was very important. Okay. So, but we're going to kind of get a little bit more techie with them this winter so they can get light a little easier. So researchers taught birds to recognize sequence rules in notes. Male finches were able to learn the patterns and apply the abstract rules to new and unfamiliar note sequences. Now, I think, just having studied psychology myself, and I have a number of degrees in psychology, what they're talking about, because they don't go into detail, is sequence rules. Doing things in order. These guys are exquisite at that. I mean, I watch them and I can't believe what I see. The male finch will let the female finch first investigate if there's something new. And they recognize it immediately. Like for corn, the corn silk, when I first put that in there, Umi investigated it, loved it, loved it. So Mashuki will go, and I'm not kidding you on this. Now how do you Carmela, how do they ask for things? He asks for the paper towels. How does he ask? When he sees me pick up the paper towels, he's looking at me, he's directing his voice to me. Paper towels. Why does he want the paper towels? Because they're soft like the silky corn silk. She loves the silky, soft, what should I say, vegetation and items in there for her nest. Way more than she would want like thyme or rosemary in her nest or the corn husks. They will ask for the corn silk or the paper tissues in their cage. These guys are super intelligent. If you're paying any bit of attention to them, you know that's what they're asking for. When you turn the water on, if they want their water changed, they will both sing out. I don't dare do it right now because I'm sure they want it changed because they took a bath at the beginning of the video. So, okay, mate choices. Female finches use multiple song features to independently evaluate the males and will prefer males that sing more complex sequences. He has not gotten extremely complex yet. She has learned the song already and sings it back to him. So she is not, what shall I say? She's just beginning to show some care towards him, but she's not overly crazy about Mashuki. This is to her like a brother at this point. Seriously, this is a loving brother to her. She has not yet displayed mate behavior towards Mashuki. Okay? That's okay though, honey. Yeah, you take your time. Yes, sweethearts. He hasn't even completely gotten his coat. So they're still growing, guys. So, when I got them last August. So they were a couple of months old at that point. So they are just about 1 year old. And his coat is looking beautiful. His coat is just still developing. And Umi, this Mashuki, hi honey. Hi baby boy. Hi honey, where's Umi? You want to come up here, Umi? Yeah, what you saying? They talk back to you. They're in their way. They don't see. She's talking. Okay, now. Hi, honey. You can talk all day long to them. Okay. Natural Institutes of Health. Behavior. Oh, that's not the birds. Hold on one second, guys. I wanted to share with you the crows. We're going to go more into studies on these guys. I'm going to find more individual studies. And I've got my own little study going on. I'm not kidding you. And like I showed you in the last, this is just an example. I showed you in the last video, you know I'm an author, guys, but I designed this notebook, artist notebook, to track different venues for artists, okay? And so I'm putting together, I'm designing one based on my own notes for to put together a notebook or diary for Finches, because I need a go-to book, just like I need my artist's go-to book when I'm trying to figure out where all my art is and all the venues. I have them out there. Birds are very interesting. I want to put something in here. I want to tell you how far back crows go. Or let's say, how far back do finches go? Guys, are you ready? And you cannot think that our birds are not intelligence when their ancestor and their DNA, can anybody, don't look it up, can anybody take a guess how far back finches go in history? When do you think finches, how long have they been around? Do you have any guesses out there? Anybody out there? Okay. They go back 52 million years. 52 million years to the early Eocene period. Eocene, Oxene, Eocene. Scientists found the oldest known fossils of perching birds, the group finches. And you know, the yellow finch in Vermont are gorgeous. They're gorgeous, guys. But they go back and they found them, their their fossils in Wyoming, United States, and in Germany. These ancient birds had finch-like beaks and ate seeds. So check it out. 52 million years ago, the earliest ancestors of perching birds, passerines, appear. These early species already evolved diverse beaks. 20 million, you know, and that's the other thing for their beaks, guys. You've got to have the cuttle bone or something rough for them to be able, so they can swipe. Because every day they'll wipe their beak after they eat. They wipe their beak like that on the cuttle bone or up on the sandpaper. Anyway, 20 million years ago, true finches, known in science as the family Fringillidae, start to emerge as a distinct group. 2 to 3 million years ago, the finches that Darwin studied, and I don't know why they praise him with saying this is exactly how humans, you know, were developed, because there's many question marks on that. Why are there question marks on it? Because the earth is so vast, you don't know. You only know what's on the surface, okay? And there's much more out there. Anyway, 2 to 3 million years ago, these finches arrived at the Galapagos Islands, and they rapidly evolved into new species to fit different food sources. So that's a little bit on the finches, okay? And we can go into the American goldfinch and where you can find finches in Vermont. Let's just do that quickly. Where to find wild finches in Vermont. So if you're in Vermont, guys, okay, finches, you can find them, wild finches, across Vermont. Open meadows, brushy forest edges, apple orchards. It says in Jeffersonville, Brewster Upland Trails. So it's a 4-mile loop, and you can find them in the mixed woods and the field edge habitat. So let me just say, like, I hear the birds and the finches out here. Sometimes I can't even see them, but I do find them. Another place is Hyde Park. So, can I just say they're all over the place. So I've seen them in Williston, I've seen them in Burlington, I've seen them in Essex, I've seen them up in Milton, I've seen them all over the place. So I'm just going to say they're just giving you some specifics here. And the type of finches you'll see in Vermont are the American goldfinch, which is a bright yellow. They're gorgeous. And you'll see purple finches, and they're mostly in the woodland and evergreen canopies. I have seen the purple finch only a few times. And the eruptive finches, so they're near Canada, and they're called the pine siskins. I saw them when I was up in Derby, tons of them actually up there. The red poles and the evening grouse beaks. Okay, so now let's get to the crows. Okay, so this is kind of what's happening to me right now. The crows know me. They have come to my window. No, crows. Hang on. They're not crows. They're ravens. They're not crows. They're ravens. They're ravens. They're huge. They're bigger than a cat. They're absolutely huge. Some of them bigger than a fox, coming to my window. I went out, brought the garbage out the other day, and there were 3 of them sitting there staring at me. And I mean, for a long time. I stood there and they stood there. So befriending a raven relies on building mutual trust. It really is your behavior. They look right at your eyes and they're like, do you accept me or do you not accept me? I have given them the green light that I accept them. I don't want to be rude to them. At the beginning, I wasn't sure what to think. I was just staring at them because I couldn't believe that there were 2 of them at my window. I couldn't believe it. But because ravens have complex social intelligence, you must establish a consistent routine, offer highly nutritious food, and respect their boundaries. Be predictable. I guess that's maybe a little bit of what they're seeing with me on just a few things. I am not a highly predictable person because I'm just not. But where the birds are concerned, that is one thing that I like to be predictable, is putting their food out at the same time daily. And there's usually people around, and maybe that's something I'm doing and then heading out, or maybe over coffee. So those parts are not predictable, but putting the food out itself is predictable. So I have come to find out that the ravens actually have a nest. up across on the top of the building across the street. And I know that because I've seen them go in there with their babies and come out with the young and go in. So the other thing is offer the right treats. So high valued food, such as unsalted nuts in a shell, like peanuts or walnuts, a dog kibble. I'm not putting dog kibble, and I would advise you not to put that out there unless you don't have any problem with mice. The mice will come up for that. You need to be careful. Plus, you need to be careful with other dogs, okay? We have a lot of dogs around here, and they walk out at the same time sometimes. They could fight over that, so I'm not going to put dog kibble. But it says hard-boiled eggs and fresh berries. So those are something I might consider, but I'm going to be careful with that. Right now, I just put bread out. Okay? Keep your distance. Toss the food and step back 10 or 15 feet and let the birds eat. Monitor their behavior. Study their language. Like raised neck feathers can mean they're really excited. Little Mashuki does that sometimes when he gets food in there. He just loves. He'll put his neck up and feathers will all come out and he'll sing and sing and sing. So with a raven, a crouching low or rapid winged flickers can signal begging for food or eagerness. That is usually what a baby bird does. And yeah, and I had the mother and babies doing that out here, and I had to feed them. They were begging. And these were baby sparrows and mother sparrow. So listening for communication. Ravens are highly vocal communicators. So guys, they are also visual communicators. They will look at each other. I saw them do it right in front of me. They listen for quiet conversational clicks or cooing sounds. If a raven allows you to get closer over time without flying away, it is the beginning that you have a safe companion. And I want to draw caution here. If that occurs, especially in Vermont, be careful. Let them stay in freedom. You know what I mean? Don't start bringing them into the house. Be careful with that, guys. You know, because they have learned to survive out in the elements. It makes them very strong. And if you start bringing them into the house and they get used to the inside and they get used to you, and something happens to you, because they're going to outlive you. Ravens live a long time. So I wouldn't do that. Let them stay out in nature and just enjoy them out there. Talk to them out there and feed them and just be their friend. They're very intelligent. So acknowledge their intelligence. After they form a bond with you, which these guys are doing with me on their own, I don't know why they've chosen me, but they have. They absolutely have. And I'm just going with it. I am totally their friend. But after the bond forms, a raven may leave objects like shiny stones, beads, or coins near the meeting spot. They talk about Bigfoot doing that. These guys will follow you in the woods if you're on a trail. These guys will follow you. If they are bonded with you, and they will follow to protect you. I went over to the trailhead the other day, and I noticed that they were over there. They were watching me from the other side of the bridge. So I found that very, very interesting. And I don't know why. That's kind of all new to me here. Avoid unfair behavior. Research shows ravens can recognize unfairness. That is a highly complex concept, guys, and it's one that even human beings will display ignorance towards, which is just so sad. That a raven will recognize unfairness. And remember, when a human being is deceitful, always play by the rules and do not trick them because they know the difference. Unfortunately, some humans don't even know when they're tricked. So I don't want to sound bitter and resentful. I'm just thinking, I'm old now, guys, and I'm thinking of specifics. Some humans don't even know. And they don't know what do I want to say, the repercussions of doing that to another person or to an animal. Respect their wildness. That's what I was just saying. So, never attempt to keep them as a pet. It's illegal and it disrupts their natural social lives. So I think in some states it actually is legal. But I just want to say yes, totally, totally. You might be out in a cabin somewhere. Still, let them live out in the wild. Because, like I said, when you're gone, they need to be able to go out and still continue to live their life, okay? So let's see how long ravens live. Okay, see, they live commonly 40 to 50 years, and they survive up to 80 years old. So they're very intelligent guys. Let's see how far back they go. We know finches go back 52 million years. It's probably the same here, but and so ravens go back 15 to 20 million years. They originate in a region that later became Australia before spreading globally. Guys, remember that the world was all together at one point, you know? The modern common raven, as we know it today, has been roaming the earth for about 2 million years. They survived the Ice Age, so they're very intelligent, okay? The ledger family they belong to, called Corvidae, goes back even farther, about 30 million years. And this, to put things in perspective, human ancestors were just beginning to walk up, that's what it says, upright, when the modern raven had already established itself across the northern hemisphere. Guys, they say this like it's fact. It is fact. It is what they have found and assimilated the information together. Why am I a skeptic on that? Because I do believe there could be many different species of humans. And I am not convinced that a humanoid, or not a humanoid, but a human or hybrid is the same as the human. I'm not convinced of it. I have many, many, many questions when I read the little bit of information that we still have. Anyway, so with that. Okay, guys, I think that's some good information, and I will keep you alert. I'm going to try to figure out how to get a camera that I can put around my neck and have it on so I can get some video of how these ravens are choosing me as a friend and to communicate with me as a friend. That's what's happening. Why and how, I don't know. But for them to follow me from here on a little trek, I found very interesting. Maybe they thought I had food in the bag. I don't know. Maybe it was that simple, or maybe not. So I'm going to look at the Ravens is a spiritual guide over on my Echo Art with Carmela. If you're interested, we'll be looking at that. And meanwhile, I will try to get video, but for now, this little Umi, you can see them in their nest, guys. See the swinging? They are putting their nest together. And like I said, they're super intelligent. They use each other as a mold to build around the nest. That's what they're doing. When they go up in the nest, the other one is sitting and one is building. So with that, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day. I know I talked a lot, but I just love this information and learning, and love to bring you along with me. So you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Love and light.